Hello, we are Jax.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Aiden.
I'm Xavier.
Our second game is called Overcooked 2. And in this game, the goal is essentially to create different types of food and satisfy the customer orders that are appearing on the top of the screen. We have to work together because one person alone cannot do it, and there are many different stations in this game that require chopping, frying, steaming, all sorts of things just to make an order out on time.
Interestingly, they designed the game in a way where players are forced to collaborate. So even if one player is playing incredibly well, chopping incredibly well, getting everything in the cooker right on time, they still can't do it all by themselves. They'll often separate the players. There's one level that we played where I was alone on a different platform on the other side of a river, and Jacob and Aiden needed to throw um, ingredients over to me. Sorry, over to me. It was a funny level. And then I would have to chop them and send them back. But Jacob and Aiden, like they needed me and I needed them. And in that way it's a very interesting way that they make it so not a single player can do everything and it sort of embodies collaboration. And one reading that reminded me of was the McGonagall reading, which went into several different things about games, but it specifically talked about how games and game developers sort of create these interesting methods of collaboration. And one quote from the article that I thought embodied this game was from page 13. It says, quote, "Game developers know better than anyone else how to inspire extreme effort and reward hard work. They know how to facilitate cooperation and collaboration at previously unimaginable scales, and they are continuously innovating new ways to motivate players to stick with harder challenges for longer and in much bigger groups." And I think at Overcooked 2, the game developers did an excellent job making such a it's a relatively simple game design. We're simply trying to make these orders and get them processed to customers, but they managed to make creative ways that forced us to get along and collaborate to achieve the ultimate goal of serving the customers.
Yeah, and I agree. We've had so much fun playing Overcooked 2, but I agree with Aiden and X that the overall premise of the game is based on collaboration. And when you fail to collaborate, you don't get the points you need to score well, and you don't get to move on to other levels if you don't score well. So the whole point of the game is based on teamwork and how well you can work with your teammates. Um, and this game kind of reminds me of the points in the Flanagan and Huizinga articles. In Flanagan's critical play, um, the whole point was, what if games have become something more? Um, it was talked about how games could solve social issues, and critical play means to occupy environments that represent more aspects of human life. So, if you think about it, teamwork in some aspects is a part of anyone's everyday life. And I would say teamwork is a huge aspect of my life, Aiden's life, and X's life, because we're all on the swim team. And although swimming may be looked at as an individual sport, it's very much based on teamwork and your ability to work with your teammates in practice, competing, and outside in classes. Um, and also from the Huizinga article, um, it talked about how play is an important part of culture, and play creates order, meaning, and community. And honestly, I think that going over Overcooked and actually playing it with my teammates, I've grown closer to them. And it's funny, we make a lot of jokes at practices outside of, and I just think that we've bonded overall. And this game has been able to transcend our relationship both as classmates and teammates. So, yeah, for sure.
Now we can go into one of the first clips that we wanted to show, sort of, um, it's a really good way of showing why collaboration is important, specifically communication. So before we go into it, we can just play that first clip.
And pasta.
Steak is ready. Steak
Over here, babe.
on the
Put
plate.
this plate over
Did you
here.
just say babe? We need fish.
Okay,
Okay.
which one? Shrimp or tuna? Don't just say fish.
What do you mean?
Shrimp or tuna?
Shrimp is shrimp. Fish is fish.
Shrimp is a fish. What is it then?
A crustacean.
Oh, you guys are friggin' nerds. Oh my gosh.
So that clip sort of shows why communication is important. So Jacob and Aiden there we're really on the same page. I don't know if you guys want to go into what happened there.
They're not fish. They're like straight up. Shrimp aren't fish. There's no confusion there.
Okay. But I also feel like saying fish or tuna, those words are faster than saying crustacean
That
or fish. So,
Ugh.
or we could just say blue or the red one. You know, that could have been faster too. It's all about speed and efficiency in that game. And well, we did look it up. Crustacean is a shellfish, or yeah, shellfish. So technically, it can be considered a fish. No?
No,
No,
not
but that's
really,
okay.
but we're
That's
getting
right.
we're getting off
Off topic a
topic.
little bit, yeah.
But anyway, the point of that clip wasn't to determine whether shrimp are considered fish. It was to show the importance of communication in this game. Another big thing that we struggled with was we wouldn't communicate who was doing what order. So sometimes two people would end up doing the exact same order, and then there would be a separate order that no one was working on, and then we would end up failing that order. And in the game, usually if you get a ton of points when you complete an order, and then when you fail an order, you don't only not get points, you actually lose points. So it's pretty much impossible to win that level if you fail the order. So it's important to communicate well and stay on top of everything so that no one is wasting time.
Something fascinating that I found about this game is not only do you have to communicate, but you have to communicate in ways that you didn't expect to communicate. Because everyone listens to things and communicates in different ways. Like for Jacob, it was not useful for me to say shrimp because that was confusing to him. But regardless of the verdict, I think it's very important because some people just need to hear it in different ways. And the same with like doing the order. If you're like, I'm doing the fish order, no one knows what order you're doing unless you make it very clear and evident to exactly what order you're doing.
Yeah, and just to add on to that point, um, we're not all one hive mind Vecna from Stranger Things. So we as teammates have to be able to play to our own strengths as well as our teammates. So it was very interesting to see us be able to accomplish that and fail at sometimes, but be able to work with that and try to get to like a level of cooperation by, like for me, I'll take that instance of saying fish are tuna, not crustacean are fish, that's just an example of us trying to work together to find each other's own strengths and how one of us, or just like how each of us individually can play the game better.
Yeah, building off of that, I think that's what we sort of found as we progressed through the game, that um, some of us had certain strengths, some of us did not have those strengths. So I think we sort of divided the labor accordingly. We tried to find, once we realized that sort of everyone just going hectic and going at their own pace, no organization did not work very well. We decided to sort of clearly divide the labor. We tried a couple different methods. Some of them worked very well, some of them did not work very well. First, we'll show an example of one that did not work very well on one of the later um, levels on our last stream, which was getting pretty difficult, where we both had to deal with making the food as well as putting out fires, which were all over the kitchen. So we assigned Jacob to be the one to take out the fires, and then me and Aiden were assigned to doing the cooking jobs. And we thought that that division of labor would work well. Clearly, it did not, as you can see from this clip.
Okay, someone get that.
Oh, wait. There's a fire in the way, Jacob. I wonder how I could get that.
It's still going. Need new, no, say goodbye. Need new shrimp kebab.
What exactly are you doing, Jacob?
I'm putting up the fire. Do you see the?
Aim at the fire then.
Need fire out on the other side. Oh,
Guys,
never mind.
everything is catching on fire.
So, as you can see by the flames everywhere, did not work very well.
Yeah, for this clip, I think where we kind of fell short was even though it was his job to maintain the fire, what was overlooked was during our cooking process, one of our items started to burn, and it was our job to take it off of the burner, not Jacob's job to take it off of the burner. So he was just worried about the fires, but we were the ones that caused the fire. So in the moment, you can see us start blaming Jacob because there's fire everywhere. But we didn't stop to consider that it was actually our fault in the very beginning.
And that connects to this idea that we've discussed in class of who to put the blame on. That was discussed a little bit in the with the Milgram experiment in the Milgram article, how people felt sort of better about doing the experiment if they were able to take the blame away from themselves and put it on someone else. In the same way, we felt less guilty about our wrongdoings in this team space because we were able to put the blame on someone else, that being Jacob. Um, we can now go into one example of a division of labor that did work well on a pizza order where we had Aiden, who was playing the best of us at the time. Sort of, there was a moving contraption, and one person was always on the side of the ovens. And so we had Aiden always be that person, as you see here.
Oh, tomatoes and cheese go on this way.
Excellent.
Need a cheese and cheese.
Got it.
Switch over to Jacob's steak.
Okay, that's done. That order's done. You guys need to
We need
put it
it.
on the plate.
Jacob, put the plate on the cutting board. Take something off the cutting board.
So Aiden or Jacob, do you guys want to talk about that example that worked well?
Yeah. So in this, as you saw from the clip, we had to make pizzas. There was one side that had the cheese and the dough, and the other side had the tomatoes. And we decided was to have one person on one side with the tomatoes, chopping that, and then one person on the cheese and bread. And Aiden, as we like to call it, was our switch hitter. He would change sides when the chopping blocks decided to move. And so yeah, that was just we had a plan and it worked out really well because we were able to talk to one another and work together so much better than the the fire round. But yeah, that is we scored really well, and I think that's a clear example of us working together efficiently and being able to accomplish something much better than the the fire level.
For sure. And then to wrap up, we just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the stuff sort of outside the main goal of the game, which is to complete the orders that made the game fun. Firstly, sort of the chaos, everything moving so quickly, the fact that you can hit your teammates, hit them off, sort of just made the game fun. That sort of connects to the idea talked about in Kaiwa's article, where with the different types of play, it sort of connects to the idea of Ilinx as a form of play, where the chaos and disruption makes the game more fun.
Yeah, interestingly, during this, the game allows you to fall off the map and allows you to like knock food into other people or interrupt their gameplay and push people around, which is it's pretty funny and sometimes aggravating in the moment, but it's not how the game is meant to be played. You're meant to finish the orders. And I think this reflects uh, Bonnie Ruberg's article, No Fun, The Queer Potential of Video Games, that annoy, anger, disappoint, sadden, and hurt. Because she argues that playing a game in a queer way means rejecting the usual expectations of what makes it enjoyable. Like for us, getting 3 stars is obviously great, but oftentimes the first times we played a level, we didn't even get 1 star because we were messing around or we'd just not like communicate effectively. So I think we were able to modify the game and play it in a queer way and redefine what fun looked like. Because it's really good when we do finish a level, because oftentimes we're just communicating hard the entire time and everything goes relatively to plan. But where we get most of our enjoyment and most of our laughs is during when things are not going to plan. And they're not going to go to plan, and it just starts to get into chaos because that was the fun part, at least for me,
Yeah.
when we were playing this game.
Yeah, and I want to add on to that. Also, having to redo difficult levels that you weren't able to achieve those 3 stars or accomplish your goal is much more fun and accomplishing, just like how you feel. And I think that aspect also of not exactly playing it how you want to, your goal every time, I think in any levels to try to beat it, but replaying it with your friends and messing up and failing just makes it more enjoyable.
For sure. All right, I think that's it for our discussion of Overcooked 2 and how it really epitomizes collaboration. So thank you guys for
Yep.
listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.